went long, so we thought we'd get kind of a head start here. Blackhawk won the toss. They received Trent Wisner, returned to kickoff to the 32-yard line. The first play, he ran for 5. Second play, incomplete pass. It is now 3rd down and 4. Blackhawk in the green with the gold pants and the gold helmets. Moon, red and white. 3rd down and 5. Helsing on the option. Wisner outside. He will not get to the sticks. Good pursuit by the Moon defense. Coming up was the right outside linebacker Tim Morrow to make the initial hit. And it'll be 4th down and a yard, and Blackhawk will be forced to punt.
Nice call against that defense. Moon covered both guards and the center and brought the inside linebackers. Blackhawk went outside, but as we said before, Moon can get to the ball, and they go sideline to sideline.
You know, Trent Wisner, he looked real good on that kickoff return. He looked real good on that option that they ran. It wasn't much daylight for him, but he made a lot of yardage on his own.
Well, the knee seems to be healthy. This is Dane Helsing, the quarterback to punt. Averages 36.2. Andre Neely calls for the fair catch. The Moon area fans want a foul for not allowing him enough room, and they got it. There's a flag.
Right.
You know, in the first game between these two, and again, Blackhawk won that 13-10 in overtime. Moon turned it over 5 times, and in that game, their #1 tailback, Joe Tobin, played sparingly. And the Moon fans think that that could be the difference. As a matter of fact, Andre Neely was responsible for 4 of those 5 turnovers. Personal foul on Blackhawk, so this is going to improve Moon's field position on their initial possession of the game.
Yes, Stan, Joe Tobin is the tailback. He pulled a hamstring the first time they met, but and played very sparingly. But since that time, 224 rushes for 1,340 yards. So the kid can run the ball.
You know, Trent Wisner was the guy that scored that go-ahead winning touchdown in overtime for Blackhawk from 6 yards out. And the guy who tried to make the tackle on him, a kid by the name of Jim Dianello, he broke his arm on that tackle. He was out for 5 weeks, but he's back now.
Well, let's set the Moon offense. Pat Miller, number 5, is the quarterback. The fullback is number 33, T.J. Kapp. And the aforementioned Joe Tobin, number 25, is the tailback. He rushed for 1,340 yards this year and averaged better than 6 yards per carry and scored 12 touchdowns. And in a game like this, where defense should predominate, field position becomes paramount. 1st and 10 to the 44. Inside handoff to Kapp. And Kapp is across the 45 to the 46. Gain of a couple, 2nd down and 8. Middle linebacker Nick Shansky, 5'10", 220-pound senior, makes the tackle. Dave Cirolas, Jason Bunda, Brian Bergeter, Mickey Keene is a big defensive player for them as well, and John Rogers across the front. There's Kapp and Tobin. The tight end is Dave Olson. Chris Zona, the wideout. Tim Morrow, the other wideout. And Pat Miller is the quarterback. 2nd down and 8. This is Tobin. Maybe a yard. The 47-yard line, and nose tackle Joe Conforti, number 63, made the stop for Blackhawk.
Moon came out in 2 tight ends that time. They ran a little counter back to the away from the wing. And everybody talks about Moon's defense. It's a great defense, having given up only 41 points the entire year. But this Blackhawk team's only given up 79 points the entire year, and they've got a potent offense to go with that D.
They've given up just 7.2 points per game. Moon has given up 3.4 points per game and had 8 shutouts. 3rd down and 8. Option pitch to Tobin, looking for the corner. He'll lose yardage. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Knifing across was Trent Wisner, the strong safety, and corner Jared Marsilio. 4th down and 10.
There was some question whether or not Trent Wisner was going to play defense tonight, but he played defense on that play extremely well.
They strung it out real well, got him to the sideline. Wisner come up from that strong safety spot and filled from the inside. Great contained by the corner.
Absolutely.
4th down, 10. So the idea here, of course, was to be maintain as much field position as you possibly can. Fair catch called for and taken. Again, there was a Moon player involved as Marsilio moved up, called for the fair catch, and we may have turnabout being fair play, a penalty back the other way.
Nobody wants to give anybody room on these punt catches.
John Patterson with a high punt. The fair catch called for by Marsilio.
There's no infraction on the play. The player was blocked into him.
By the way, our officiating crew, that was referee Frank Campbell you just heard. Harry Muckles, the umpire, the linesman. Ray Shaming, Terry Smedley, Frank Pryor, George Link, and Paul Soroka. That is our officiating crew tonight. That was Scott Masher, by the way, returning the punt, and not Marsilio. 27 instead of 26. Here's Wisner wide to the near side. Penetration in the backfield. He will be dropped for no gain at the 28-yard line. Jim Danello, the inside linebacker, and Pat Miller, who plays corner as well as quarterback, combined to make the tackle. Wisner stopped for no gain. The way it looks, guys, it's early. Neither team been able to run the ball with any consistency. It may turn out to be who can throw the ball better.
There was 8 white shirts on that ball carrier just now. I mean, that Moon defense swarms all over the field.
If you had to describe it, Neil or Don, do they stun a lot? Do they shoot the gap? And can that be dangerous? Is that a gambling defense?
Well, you look at those 2 middle linebackers right now. Now they're backing off and they're shifting.
Play fake to Shansky, long sideline route, and it is batted away at the very last second.
You see a lot of activity by the front 7 on that Moon defense. 2 defensive tackles. Mickey Keene, 6'4", 255 pounds, only a junior. They're expecting him to get a lot of Division I play next year. And the other tackle, John Rogers, 6'2", 265, has seen some Division I play also. Alex Philo at the nose, and Danello and Cap at the linebackers. These kids can run, do a lot of stunning, a lot of pinching, and a lot of linebacker activity in there.
They'll give you a lot of looks.
And offensive linemen being what they are, they're easily confused. 3rd down and 10, the offset eye, inside handoff, no go. A loss of a yard. Mickey Keene got penetration, stopped the fullback for a loss of 1, and that'll bring up 4th down and 11. And on the previous play was Andre Neely, the right corner, number 24, who made the good defensive play on Adam Konecki. It is 4th down and 11.
Good example there. Mickey Keene pinching into the guard right where the ball was run.
The tight punt. Nelson gets off a nice one. Tobin started to back away, fell down, but nonetheless, Moon will get the ball at their own 41-yard line. We have played 5 minutes of football, 7 minutes to play in a scoreless first quarter between Moon and Blackhawk for the AAA championship. 8 shutouts this year. Their first trip to the WPIAL title game. Mark Capuano, the head coach, in his 14th year. This is Joe Tobin, makes a nice cut across the 40, but still good pursuit by Blackhawk. Trent Wisner made the initial hit. The gain is a yard, 2nd down and 9.
Got a legal procedure on the field there, Stan. I think somebody from that Moon right side, the tight end, perhaps moved before the snap of the ball.
So they wanted 2nd and 9 or 1st and 15.
You know, both these teams use a 5-2 defense. Blackhawk seems to stay in it a lot more. A little bit of nonchalant pinching and slanting inside, but they usually line up in that base 5-2 most of the time. Moon will drop an end off, bounce people down to make it look like an even front, but they're basically both 5-2 defenses.
You know, this is Capuano's 2nd stint as the head football coach at Moon High School. When he first started out back in the 70s under Rip Shear, he was his defensive coordinator. Then he became the head coach, gave it up somewhere early in the 80s, then he's back. And he's back with a lot of thunder, I'll tell you that.
Well, Blackhawk did refuse the penalty. There's some confidence in your defense to make it 2nd and 9. Let me ask you this, as high school coaches, obviously you played, you coached under other people, and you develop a belief and a philosophy in a particular defense. But in high school, is there one defense, given the level of talent you may have, that you think the kids adapt to? Would it be the odd man, the old Oklahoma defense, 5-man front?
I think the Oklahoma defense on paper is the most sound defense that you can put up there. If your guys are better than their guys, you can't go wrong in the 5-2.
Morrow in motion, delay handoff. Finally, a little bit of running room. Crawford gets the carry, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 3.
That 52 defense, Stan, that goes way back to what they used to call the Okie defense. You remember that back in the 50s? Absolutely, and it's a sound defense, and a lot of people really believe in it. They haven't gotten into the forefront or the 34 defense. We play it ourselves at Baldwin High. I like the 50 defense.
3rd down and 3. We have not yet had a first down in the ball game. Cap in motion to the far side. Fake option. Miller hit as he throws, and it is intercepted. Trent Wisner read it nicely. The good pass rush caused Miller to lob one up there, and Trent Wisner made the interception, and frankly, Moon's lucky he didn't take that back all the way.
Yeah, it was Jake Anderson, the 6'3", 235-pound junior, that put the pressure on and caused the errant throw.
Miller should have never thrown the ball. You know, he was under great pressure. Should have just let it ate the ball and go ahead and punt and play defense again. Now Blackhawks got the first break of the game, and they've got good field position at the 45-yard line of Moon.
5:42 to play in a scoreless first quarter. We still don't have a first down.
Power eye backfield.
Deep man is Wisner. And this is Wisner looking for a block, and he will not get one.
Again, Moon brought the 2 inside linebackers. They're playing 7 people on that line of scrimmage right now, daring Blackhawk to throw the ball.
Jim Dinello, 5'10", 205-pound senior. He is number 58. His partner is the starting fullback, T.J. Cap. He's 5'11" and 203 pounds, also a senior. And those are the guys who are pretty much the fulcrum of the defense, the center point.
They're very active, Stan. They stun almost every play so far.
Well, Trent Wisner is definitely the guy with the beacon on him. Don't be surprised if they... Blackhawk came off early.
Again, lining up in the power eye with Lodovico, who pretty much serves as a wing back on that occasion.
That power eye formation with the double tight gives you the opportunity to jam that box with 7 or 8 people, sometimes 9. And Moon is obviously doing that.
Yeah. And you know, one of the things that's probably going to happen down the road here.
False start on the offense. Still 2nd down.
They're going to fake the Wisner. Not too far distance. They'll fake the Wisner. They'll roll out the other side. They'll have a bootleg pass, and there'll be somebody wide open in the corner over there.
Let's go down to Bill Fontana for a moment. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Stan, wanted to tell you, Buddy Morris, who's the strength coach at Pitt, each year these kids from Blackhawk go up and listen to a motivational speech. Brandon Apple takes it on his own, and all the others go to each other's house to lift weights. In spring, they're late for practice one day, and Hamilton said, hey, where are they? And guess what? They were out in the parking lot lifting up a truck, and that's something that the Blackhawk team believes in.
Well, they're going to believe in their quarterback, Dane Helsing, who made a nice move to escape the nose tackle, Alex Philo, who had him for a loss. As it is, he picks up yardage to the 42-yard line. It's a pickup of 8 yards and brings up 3rd down and 7.
Stan and Neil, that play right there, they ran a single back set. They had a slot to the top of the field, and they had a wing to the bottom of the field, and it was a bootleg pass. He was rolling to his left. There were 2 receivers down the field. He didn't have time to throw because the outside backer came hot, and he ran the ball for pretty good yardage.
Dane Helsing, the senior quarterback, also plays defense, also plays basketball. Good athlete. Now this time it's Wisner in motion. He may be the target of the pass. Helsing is in, he throws it as incomplete. They're calling it an incomplete pass. That's exactly what Don was talking about. They put Wisner in motion. He was the primary target about the 25-yard line on the near side. However, Tim Morrow, number 21 for Moon, hits him on the blitz. Never had a chance to complete it.
He put the wood to him.
It brought that motion to this side, 3 receivers to this side, tried to run a little flood pattern, but didn't have the time to get it off.
Now, this has got to be discouraging. You know that you get that ball good field position, you can't move it anymore.
Both teams have had great field position. Number 25, Joe Tobin to the far side. Andre Neely on the high snap to the near side. Helsing's kick is another good one. Fair catch called for, but Helsing gets the bounce, and it'll be down at the 2-yard line. Outstanding job by Mike Kaufman, who downed the punt at the 2-yard line. And just as we opened our big mouths, there goes the field position.
Absolutely. They got the great punt off. You know, the one thing about it, the one turnover that Blackhawk got, it established field position for them. And even though they weren't able to convert and get the first down and maintain possession, the punt works out beautifully for them. Now Moon is backed up against their own 2-yard line, going against a great Blackhawk defense.
We have 2 heralded defenses. Chances are you're going to play a game of field position. Right now, Blackhawks winning that game.
And Don, of course, is right on when he said that the interception changed the field position all around. It really belonged to Moon. Here's the inside handoff and a couple yards out to near the 4-yard line. Second down and 8. Jared Marsilio, whose brother Chad played on the Blackhawk team, was in the title game a couple of years ago.
A lot of familiar names. Argabast, rather, and
Absolutely.
Wisner, Best. Although I think the Best kid is out tonight. He's hurt.
Justin Best is their second leading receiver. He has a broken collarbone, but if Blackhawk does advance, they're hopeful he'll be able to play in the PIAAs. Second down, Miller looking for the option. He's got it, breaks a tackle. He's to the 10, near the 12, and near the first down, which would be the initial first down of the ball game. Marsilio made the tackle, but Miller gets the initial first down, and that is huge, if for no other reason than field position.
They need to get out of that hole, and they're still in a hole. They need a couple more first downs. Blackhawk plays that 52 defense as well. They play it well. They have a strong safety to the field, and they play what we call cover 3 with the free safety in the middle field about 12 or 13 yards back. And those linebackers read well.
In the eye to the pro set, that is Jason Thompson in motion to the far side. Here's the counter play on the inside hand up to Tobin, who gets 3 to the 16. It'll be second down and 7.
I think, Don, you'll agree that one of the key features on playing that 5-2 defense and playing it well is to have a nose guard that is tough to block single-handedly. On that particular play there, you saw the Moon offensive line double the nose guard, and he's a player. Joe Conforti, 245-pound senior, has been in there before. Tough man to block, makes that 5-2 defense go.
And if you watch him, you'll notice he never plays heads up hardly. He's going to take a one technique either side of that center. He's going to shoot a gap.
Second down and 7. Again, the option. Miller keeps, gets to the 20-yard line, and that'll bring up third down and a long 3, and Joe Conforti makes the tackle. For you Steeler fans out there, we talk about Joel Steed, and the principle is exactly the same. If you're nose man, if he can be handled one-on-one with the center, you can't play the defense effectively.
No, you can't. And on the converse, if you have a nose guard that you need to double, it really plays havoc with all your offensive blocking schemes.
When we played Blackhawk, we always had to play a guessing game with that nose guy. And if we were going to strength and we thought he was coming to that gap, we had to double him.
They're in a 6-man front now.
61.
Miller throws out in the flat. Pass is caught by Tobin, but it'll be for a big loss inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Heck of a play by Jake Anderson, and I would guess, coaches, that's a product of good coaching. When you see that guy go out in the flat, forget about rushing the quarterback. Get out there.
Anderson read that. He's read screen all the way. He smelled that thing. He was all over it.
Now, Jake Anderson was the one that put the pressure on before that caused the interception, so I think they were trying to take advantage of his rush. He dropped that time. Jake
is a junior, 6'3", 235 pounds. Made a heck of a nice play there. It'll bring up fourth down and very long yardage. John Patterson to punt. Trent Wisner, one of the men back. Punt is short and bobbled and loose.
I think Moon's got it.
They do. They kicked away from Trent Wisner. A tough punt to handle because he had to run up on the ball. And recovering, Matt Dombrovich.
That's a tough way to get field position, but now Moon has the field position that they were lacking before. Mistake by Blackhawk evens it up. One mistake apiece.
That is Scott Masher, who mishandled the punt. A junior, 5'10", 160, and they back up tailback to Wisner. So in essence, that's a gain of 25 yards for Moon. First down and 10. Tobin, the ball carrier, gets a couple out to the 43-yard line. Bill Arbogast makes the tackle. Second down and 8. We have 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
There's your isolation. Double the nose guard and lead with the fullback onto the linebacker.
You know, on that previous punt, Dombrovich was what we call the spike guy. His job is to get down the field and get on the ball outside and contain and be right there when that ball is caught. What a great job he did getting down there and making that recovery.
Miller down the line option, pitch back to Tobin, needs a block, doesn't get one. Still managed to come forward across the 45 to the 46. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. And we have reached the end of the first quarter. At the end of the first 12 minutes to play in the AAA championship game, we are scoreless at Three River Stadium on Fox Sports Pittsburgh.
It is a scoreless first half, and behind me, Stan, there's never been a championship game in Moon Township. They went out and sold 250 terrible tales from the back of a tiger. These people are crazy with Moon fever.
They're crazier now because the pass is completed to Chris Zona. Pat Miller with his second pass completion, and that is going to be good for a first down. The second first down for Moon, only the second first down of the entire ball game. As you look at the first quarter statistics, you can see that Moon had the only first down. You see the passing yards, that's changed now. Moon's one completion was for a -6 yards to Tobin. In fact, most of the yards came on penalties. But that pass completion gives Moon a first down at the Blackhawk 43.
We got total 40 yards in this game up to that point.
Crawford, 40 to the 38, near the 37-yard line. Trent Wisner, first man in. Jared Marsilio also making the tackle.
Did you hear the pads popping up here when he got hit?
Moon's mixing their formations up. They've been in a trips. They've been in twins. They just took a man in motion that time, doing a lot of little things in there.
Gaining yards on first down, too, which takes the pressure off the call on 2nd down and 5. Cap and Tobin in the eye as Thompson goes motion far side. Here's Joe Tobin. This time he meets resistance and gets a yard and a half to the 36. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. Alex DeKilla makes the tackle for Blackhawk. He's the right defensive tackle, and he leads the Cougars in sacks. He's had 6 this year. He's a senior, 6'3", 250.
Ron Skosnick's the offensive coordinator for the Moon Tigers. He and Mark Capuano were teammates at North Carolina State. At one time, Skosnick was the head coach of Stowe Rocks High School.
3rd down and 3. Down the line option. Miller keeps, got the first down. He is at the 32-yard line, and he made the first down by about a yard. Joe Conforti fighting down the line. The nose tackle made the stop, but not before Miller gets 4 and a first down. Or am I? No, I'm not premature. First down.
The Blackhawks taking one of their inside linebackers and bouncing him down and playing a 6-1 defense, moving Conforti over to cover one of the guards.
Here it is again on the replay, and I'll tell you what, Miller had no intention of pitching that ball. That was run all the way. Option run for the quarterback.
Now, when that happens, Don, is he just looking down the line, and the first crack he sees, he cuts up?
Absolutely. He's going to come down. He's going to take that first crack. He's not going to take a chance of pitching the ball. They haven't had success pitching the ball anyway.
Remember, this Moon team's allowed only an average of 3.4 points per game. They get on the board, they'll be tough to beat. The inside hand up to Cap. He'll get a yard to the 31. And the way things have gone thus far, Blackhawk actually kind of took offense that no one was paying any attention to their defense. And we may see a great performance out of their defense as well.
Yeah, you don't get to Three River Stadium if you don't play good defense. You can talk all you want about the offense and what Wisner's done and so forth. But all the teams that are playing, all 8 teams playing down here today play great defense or they wouldn't be here.
Well, Blackhawks 11-0. They're undefeated. They're one of the very few teams undefeated in the whole state.
Yep.
And they've only given up 79 points.
2nd down and 9. Miller, quick out, looking for Thompson. Make it Tobin. It is incomplete.
Yeah, double flanker took the tailback and flanked him to the right. A double flanker, double tight end, single setback that time. Both receivers did little 5-yard hooks.
That play had a chance. You know, if he catches it, makes a little move, you don't know what's going to happen. But the quarterback just misfired a little bit.
And that was Tobin out there, too, the tailback.
Joe Hamilton, 23 years, 6 WPIAL titles in the 90s. 3rd down and 9. Miller straight drop. The blitz is on. Miller can scramble. Fires out in the flat. It's caught for 1st down. Joe Tobin inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Using Tobin effectively as a pass receiver, although he was a safety valve on the play. 1st down and goal from the 9-yard line. Adam Lodovico finally brought him down.
Miller was under great pressure. He showed a lot of poise by getting that ball out there to Tobin.
You see the replay here. A lot of pressure, but you expect your quarterback to make a play. Tobin slips out into the flat, makes the big play.
Watch Tobin here. You know, he comes back up inside. You didn't think maybe if he'd have stayed to the boundary, he had a chance of getting in. But he ran hard up inside there.
He made Lodovico miss once. Then Lodovico finally made the tackle. Driving forward to the 7-yard line to bring up 2nd and goal is Joe Tobin. We should talk a bit about Pat Miller. He is a senior, 6 feet, 190 pounds, a very efficient passer this year for Moon, completing 52% of his passes and also has scored 10 touchdowns rushing. So we'll keep an eye on him near the goal line.
Yeah, he's a good athlete.
His leading receiver has been Chris Zona, who's caught 21 catches this year. That kid is 6'4". And Tobin coming into this game's got 1,320 yards and 12 touchdowns.
And Jason Thompson, number 86, they like to go to him in tight quarters because he's about 6'2.5" and over 200 pounds. 2nd and goal. Miller on the roll. Looking, got room to run. He does so. Pat Miller is in for the touchdown.
So far, Miller is having a well of a game.
Well, you know, that's all that good coaching. You tell your quarterback, hey, if everything's covered, then you make a play. And that's exactly what he did. You see the replay. He gets onto the perimeter. The receivers are covered, and he takes it himself. And that's what you expect your quarterback to do: make a play.
He accelerates. He knows where the goal line is, and he got to it. I'll tell you, this kid is playing very well. He's got a lot of savvy, and he's got a lot of courage.
Now the tight end, number 84, Dave Olson, ran the safety off. Here's the extra point attempt. Kick is up, and Jared Moyer has given Moon a 7-0 lead with 7:37 to play in the 1st half. 7-0, Moon on top. We'll be back with the AAA championship game right after this. On the near side, Scott Masher. In the middle, Trent Whistler. On the far side, David DeChellis.
Yeah, Moon's kept Blackhawk off balance a little bit on offense. They've done a great job. They sprint out passes, play action passes, running the ball up the gut, a little bit of option. So they're attacking all areas and doing a nice job of it.
Are they passing a bit more than you're familiar or accustomed to seeing Moon pass?
They've been throwing the ball a lot more in the 2nd half of the season, and they've thrown it very effectively this season.
This is David DeChellis. Number 20 is across the 30 and under the 35-yard line. Blackhawk will start out at its own 36. They don't want to kick the ball to Whistler because this season he is averaging better than 32 yards at kickoff return. And I guess he must be healthy with that knee or he wouldn't be back there returning kicks.
Well, he's been a great one for 3 years. Joe's going to miss that young man.
He's a quick kid, too. I bet this guy runs about a 4.5 40.
Plays a great defensive game, too, from the strong safety spot.
Sure does. Got an interception tonight. Slot left, 1st and 10. Drop back option. Helsing looking to get free. He'll not get there. He's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. And again, Moon so quick to the ball. Jim Danilo, the senior, number 58, made the initial hit. 2nd down and 10. That time Danilo lined up as a linebacker, and they did a little stun in there, a little R&L, and he blitzed that A gap on the left-hand side. This is the kid that broke his arm in the overtime game against Blackhawk earlier in the year, September 11th. He broke his arm trying to tackle Trent Whistler. That time, he broke down the Blackhawk offense.
You know, talking to the Moon people earlier today, he said Danilo and Cap are the leaders of that defense, 2 very active linebackers, and that's what we've seen tonight. And there they are up in there again. 2nd and 10. Motion far side, Helsing straight drop back. Looking, firing, incomplete. Ball was tipped, incomplete. Helsing has completed 54% of his passes this year, 10 touchdown passes, but he has been picked off 5 times. And this is a Blackhawk offense that averages 32 points per game, or has anyway. I want to ask you guys, I noticed in the earlier games, the AA games, the quarterbacks are coming all the way over to get a play from the coach. Do you guys operate that way? Do you use hand signals?
He comes all the way over to my boundary for me.
He comes over to mine, too. Sometimes he doesn't like to, though.
Oh, well,
I don't want an in-between guy. It's going to be between me and him.
The guy in the best shape on the team's got to be the quarterback, because he's running back and forth every play.
He's supposed to be the best athlete.
Third down and long. Helsing, he's hit from behind and sacked. The ball is loose.
That's a fumble as far as I'm concerned.
They're going to call it fourth down. The referee is going to say that it was indeed a fumble, but that Helsing was down.
Same play that Moon tried to run. Look at the replay.
Watch Tim Morrow, number 21.
He doesn't get. What happened to the ball? That Blackhawk recovered it. It was a fumble.
Tim Morrow, 6'1", 205, one of those two bookend defensive ends that put the pressure on. Their leading sackers are their two defensive ends, Nathan Crawford and Tim Morrow.
Alex DeKillo was the offensive lineman, just couldn't handle the blitzer. Here's Helsing. He's real tired now. There's the punt. Moon will back away, and it is downed up at the 42, 43-yard line. Initially, looking at the referee to see if he was going to call an incomplete pass, but when he put up that fist, signaled fourth down, you knew that it was a fumble. 5:53 to play in the first half, and Moon leads it 7-0.
Well, I'm impressed with the quickness of the Moon front. You know, you heard so much in the newspapers about their defensive prowess, but their quickness is incredible at this point.
I like your enthusiasm, too. I mean, these people take a lot of pride in what they're doing on that side of the ball. You can tell by watching them play.
First and 10 Tigers. And that was a botched handoff. He went for the inside handoff. The running back ran the wrong way, and Miller wisely just tucked it up and said, I'll take a loss if I have to. Actually, he gained a yard.
Both running backs went to the left. I kind of think Miller coming to the right was the one in error there.
So now he's really going to have to run over and talk to Mark Capuano. Those are the times when they don't want to come over to you guys.
Am I correct in, am I seeing this right? Blackhawk has still not gotten the first down in this ball game.
I believe.
I don't think they have.
You know, I mean, this is unbelievable for a high-powered offense like that.
I think you're right, Don. Second down and 9. Miller delay handoff. Tobin wide open to the 45. He's the 40, still on his feet, looking to come. Flag is down. Tobin will be dragged down to 22-yard line, but it's going to come back.
I think they caught him for going below the waist. I think he caught him in the front, but he's below the waist, I believe.
And it's really too bad because it came late in the play. He'd already gained 15, 20 yards.
He's calling holding, is he?
Oh, geez.
That's an unfortunate penalty for the Moon Tigers, but that's the best run of the night.
Yeah, it was a simple draw. Opened up real nice over the right guard. The wide out on a crackback, Don, I believe.
I'd like to see the replay on that, if we have it.
Well, we think it may have been on the flanker, Jason Thompson. They won't announce the number. We may get a replay.
On the offense.
He called a hold instead of a clip. I didn't see that. Did you, Neil?
I thought he got him in the front. I thought it was below the waist. Here's the replay here, if we can see it. It'll be coming into your right.
Oh, no.
I think he might have called that back a little. Oh, there, right there, huh?
Yeah.
He might have reached for his ankle. Tough call. Here it is again.
Maybe a better angle here.
It certainly couldn't have been on Thompson.
I think he called it on the guy right back there, grabbing the guy and dragging down on his leg.
Well, they move the football back to the 48-yard line. It is first and 10 because it's marked back from the spot of the foul. Miller.
Come back to that hole.
And snowed under. They'll give him forward progress to the line of scrimmage. No gain. And as an option quarterback, sometimes the best pitch is the one you don't make. And he wisely, I got nothing there to the near boundary, just held it and took the no gain.
That was a very tough physical no gain, too. I promise you that. He felt close. He got hit about 4 times.
Tough to run that option to the short side. Not a lot of room to operate, although they may be catching Blackhawk slanting to the wide side also.
Good job by John Farthing, who clogged up the hole. He's the left defensive end. Number 52 for Blackhawk. He's a senior. Second down and 10. Clock running. 3:55 to play in the half. Moon leads it 7-0. Play action. Miller passes over the middle. Incomplete. The pass
Brings up a 3rd and long situation here.
I think that was intended for Dave Olson, number 84, to tight end. Am I right or wrong?
On a drag, I believe so.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, there were 3 guys from Blackhawk that converged, but at the same time, the ball got to him.
So Moon with a 3rd down and 10. They have yet to convert. Actually, I think we've got those reversed because Blackhawk doesn't have any first downs. So it's the other way around, actually. Moon is 2 for 5, and Blackhawk would be 0 for 4. I'm glad I took that course in logic in college. I never would have figured that out.
Single back set.
This is Tim Morrow, motion near side. 3rd.
Blackhawk bringing pressure.
Wide open.
Got it. That's what happens.
There's the tight end, Dave Olson. He's gone for a 48-yard touchdown.
They brought that linebacker underneath. There was no way to cover that receiver in that zone.
Well, there's definitely a breakdown there. When you bring your linebackers, you certainly have people assigned to a tight end. Definitely a breakdown in the Blackhawks secondary, and Joe Hamilton's certainly not going to be pleased with that.
Dave Olson, you remember, cleared out the area on the first touchdown run by Miller. Well, how do we see that wide open?
Somebody blew a coverage, Dan. As simple as that. They had a linebacker blitzing up inside. I don't know who was supposed to cover the tight end in that scheme, but whoever it was, he did not do the job, obviously.
Dave Olson, a junior, 6'2", 200 pounds. Here's the extra point attempt by Jared Moyer. It is up, and it is good. 3:37 to play in the first half, and surprisingly, I think we can safely say it's a surprise. Moon leads Blackhawk 14-0. Let's look at that touchdown one more time.
Watch the blitz come underneath there. You can see him on the top of your screen coming in. Right there, right there. Number 9.
Bill Arbogast.
Nobody there. Nobody home. But the Tigers.
Well, Arbogast is one of the outside linebackers. He came, and usually a linebacker or a strong safety has the tight end. 5 plays, 58 yards, 48 come on 1 play. It only took them 2 minutes and 16 seconds, and now you're Blackhawk. You're used to being here. You're the favorite coming in here, although it's a 13-10 ball game regular season. If you're Joe Hamilton, what's he telling his kids right now as you see him talk to them on the sideline?
Well, he's just telling them, hey, keep your head up. Don't worry about it. We got a lot of football to play tonight. We're okay. No problem. Let's go get it back together, because they are a great offensive team, and they're, of course, they're going against one of the best defensive teams in the state. But, hey, they're still in the ball game. Blackhawk is Blackhawk. This game's a long way from being over.
Yeah, this is the advantage of being here before. You know, Joe's been here 91, 92, 93, and most recently in 96. So this isn't a team that's going to buckle under Three Rivers pressure. They've been down this road before.
Well, now this time Trent Wisner is not among the 3 deep. We'll keep an eye and see if he comes out for the ensuing offensive series. Remember, he's playing with a sprained medial collateral knee ligament. The middleman there is Adam Lodovico. Masher to the near side, DeChellis to the far side. This time Moyer will kick, and running up on it is Adam Lodovico. He's stumbling around, and he'll find his way back to near the 30-yard line, where Blackhawk, with 3:30 remaining in the half, will take over 1st and 10, still looking for their initial first down of the ball game.
I'll tell you the one thing that strikes me here. Blackhawk comes out of the Parkway Conference. You know, you got West Allegheny in that conference, Keystone Oaks, Chartiers Valley, Montour, and a lot of people in that league are intimidated by Blackhawk, and justifiably so, because they've been so good, so dominant. But as I watch this game unfold, those guys in those red and white shirts, uniforms rather, they're not intimidated at all. They're playing nose for nose. They're getting after it.
Both these teams are from the Parkway Conference. And again, Blackhawk defeated Moon in the regular season game between the two in overtime, 13-10. Inside handoff and nowhere to go.
See inside that time a little nose guard tackle twist, as they do in the pros, and as I said before, Moon looks like they're in that 5-2. You see a little twist by the nose guard and the defensive tackle right there. There's a tackle coming down. Playing a lot of little nonchalant games in there. They're causing Blackhawk some problems.
Well, they're controlling the gaps too. You know, these kind of games are always won in the trenches, as the old cliche goes. And who's winning the game in the trenches right now? Those guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
They got confused on the blocking assignment with the twist, and Tim Morrow shot the gap, and boom, he was there before Wisner really got a chance to get going. Call it no gain, 2nd down and 10. Wing right, now motion to the near side. Helsing throwing incomplete. Well covered on the far sideline by Pat Miller.
Moon in a 6-man front and brought a linebacker. That's 7 people putting a lot of pressure on there.
They did those little stunts again on the inside with those down linemen, you know.
Yeah, a lot of twists, and you can't really do those twists unless you have a lot of quickness up there, and obviously Moon has the quickness to be able to pull that off.
I think Joe's got a lot of blackboard work to do at halftime, I'll tell you that, with respect to that blocking up front.
Well, when that happens to an offensive lineman and he's not quite sure which guy to take, which gap to take, all of a sudden he's blocking from back on his heels. But I'm wondering, are they showing Moon things different on defense than perhaps they showed a couple months ago?
I don't know, but I know they're shifting a lot. There's a lot of movement on defense, which can be confusing to an offensive line.
They're dropped into a pass prevent now, 4-man rush, dropping the other 7.
Well, the pass is complete. That'll be Helsing's first completion to Bill Arbogast, number 9, but that's way short of the first down. Blackhawk still without a first down. The clock runs with 2:22 to play in the first half, and Helsing looking a bit confused as he goes back to punt for the 5th time.
You know, I know one thing about how coaches feel, especially if you're Joe Hamilton and you're the offensive coordinator for this Blackhawk football team. They've scored a ton of points over the course of this season. They average something like 30-some points a game.
32, yep.
32 points a game, and they have not gotten a first down. That's frustrating.
Here's the punt by Helsing. It's not a good one. Tobin will let it go. And go. And go some more. And they'll down it at the 12-yard line. And Moon will take over 1st and 10. But there's only a minute 49 to play in the first half. And if Moon is just careful with the football here, they're going to go to the locker room on a real high. And I honestly thought, envisioning how this game might go, and of course you never know, I thought that it would be Moon having to keep up with Blackhawk, not the other way around. Let's go down to Bill Fontana. Hi, Bill.
Stan, I wanted to tell you a very interesting story. Number 66, the center for the Moon Tigers, Brian Bergender. He broke his leg his sophomore year, never played again. They had plates in it. They took him out in the junior year, and he was the long snapper. And now Mark Capuana said this senior year, the doctors have given him okay. He's the best center in the conference.
61 for Blackhawk.
Kind of a quarterback sneak, quarterback draw. 3 yards to the 15, 2nd down and 7. Let's see if Blackhawk uses any timeouts to stop the clock.
Well, I think Capuano's probably told his offensive coordinator, Skosnick, you don't do anything stupid from this point on until we go in the dressing room.
Yeah, he'll take that 14-0 in the dressing room with a big smile on his face.
And as Stan points out, Joe's not calling any timeout, so I think Joe needs to get to the dressing room as well. He wants to get to that blackboard and maybe get to their minds a little bit.
I think Joe is very surprised with the quickness of the Moon defensive front.
Well, now they're in a power I, which is pretty much the surrender offense. They just want to get off the field with their lead. Now Blackhawk looks like they're going to take some time, realizing that Moon's not going to do anything. They do indeed. At the very least, they can force a punt.
Stan, you call that the surrender offense. That's my offensive set.
That's
what are you telling me here?
Neil does that every down.
I do that every time, and I'm not surrendering, I don't think.
But you got those 280-pound guards and tackles. Why shouldn't you?
I was just talking about the circumstances at present, not the Penn Hills offense.
I think what Hamilton's going to do now, I think he's going to call 2 more timeouts. He's going to put them in a situation where they have to punt.
Sure.
And then he's going to go for the block punt. You know, that's his last gasp for this half, and it's a good plan.
I was going to suggest that maybe they want to decide whether to run or pass, or they could flip a coin. But around here this week, it's probably not a real good idea.
Well, you call both. That way you can't lose.
You can't lose.
Or else you call tails, the 2-headed tail coin.
You know, it's a funny thing about that, and we're going to show this on Sports Beat on Monday. A couple of weeks ago, Jerome Bettis and CJ played a touch football game in conjunction with an NFL program with Dick's Sporting Goods. And Jerome went out to Monroeville, and he played with these kids, and it was just a great thing to put it on the air. One of the things he did, we had a wireless microphone on him, when it was time for the coin toss. He was captain of one team and CJ was captain of the other. Before the ref could toss the coin, he said, let me look at that coin, ref. It could be 2 heads or 2 tails. I don't know what you got there. How prophetic.
How prophetic is
2 weeks later,
yes,
there they are. 3rd down.
Oh, this is a gutsy call.
He'll throw it away. Yep. He had nothing going. He was looking deeper. He was looking on the near sideline for Andre Neely, number 24. Then he spotted Dave Olson and figured, let's just throw it away and not make any mistakes. Although, with the incompletion, it stops the clock and saves Blackhawk a timeout.
shows you the confidence that that Capuano has in his quarterback Pat Miller not to make a stupid mistake and throw the ball up for grabs.
Well, Wisner is the lone setback back at the 42 of Moon. Keep in mind that Eric Blackburn is the field goal kicker if they get close enough.
They're going to bring 10. Nope, they brought 8.
They brought 8. Wisner runs up. He'll take it right there.
He lost that ball.
Lost the ball. They're going to call a live football. And this is going to be a touchdown. Tim Morrow.
I think it's going to call a dime, Stan.
They're bringing it back. They're bringing it back.
He's going to call a dime.
He's going to say the turf caused the fumble.
Where have I heard that before this week? Well, we'll get a look at it on replay. It was Tim Morrow who picked up the loose ball.
Mark Capuano was probably beside himself.
Well, you know, if they picked up their markers, they don't have a place to spot that ball.
He's going to call a touchdown now.
He just called a touchdown.
Sure, the kid was fumbling the ball. He didn't have control of the ball when he went down.
Yeah, it's a good call.
I think somebody overruled the man who initially made the call.
Obviously they did, because he was pointing down right here. It's a down ball. And according to the replay, there's no question about it, he was fumbling the ball. He didn't have control of it. When he went down, the ball was live.
Well, Tim Morrow has played a fantastic game defensively. And that time, he's in the right place at the right time.
Joe wants to talk to the official. He's hot.
You saw the same thing we did. Perhaps we can get another look at it. First of all, we need to see who hit Wisner, and indeed, was he down at the time? Because he did mark the ball down.
He's pleading his case. It's a fumble. It was a fumble. They're eyeball to eyeball. They're face to face.
Joe's pleading his case a little bit too vehemently here. He just got a flag.
Well, I don't blame him, because it is entirely possible that when the ball was ruled down, the whistle might have blown, which might have caused some of his players to stop chasing Morrow.
This is true. That could have happened. That's right. Although I think if we see that replay again, Stan, there's no doubt that Wisner did not have control of the ball as he went down.
Frank Campbell is the referee, man in the white hat.
If this stands, it's a crushing blow to Blackhawk, and obviously it's going to stand.
Here's Wisner.
There it is again. See?
Never had the ball.
Never had the ball.
Never had the ball.
Never had control.
Is that a muff?
Right.
Is that a muff? This is a punt. Is that a muff? That ball cannot be. That ball cannot be taken down the field. That's a muff.
I think that they're saying he caught the ball, took 2 steps.
He didn't have control of that ball.
On the replay, he didn't have control, so it should be a muff. It's not advanced.
Watch it.
Tough to see from that angle.
Give it to us from the other angle.
If we can see the one we saw before that, it really details whether or not he had any control. And just to clarify,
here it is.
In high school football, you cannot return and pick up a muff.
That is a muff.
I would
he
call
did
that a
not
muff.
have control of the ball. Yeah. That's a muff. That should not have been a score.
Although
that's my opinion.
Well, you know what? It took us.
I agree with you, but it's a closer call than I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was closer to possession than I thought it was. Here's Moyer with the extra point, and boy, did that backfire. Blackhawk used its timeouts. They were going to have possession up near the Moon 40-yard line. It boomerangs into a touchdown return of about 58 yards for Tim Morrow to make it 21-0. Remember, this this Moon team averages defensively giving up only 3.5 points per game. So technically, if you go by averages, Blackhawk would have to play them 6 more times to come in with a tie at 3.5 points per game.
Well, as we mentioned in the pregame, in the state of Pennsylvania, the best scoring defense, 5 out of their last 6 games, including the 2 playoff rounds, have been shutouts, and 8 shutouts all told this year. So Blackhawk certainly has their work cut out for them.
Let me ask you, you know, Moon has beaten their opponents in the WPIAL playoffs something like 84-14.
Yep. We should mention that they defeated Derry 35-0, Bell Vernon 38-14, shut out Highlands last week 10-0, and before Bell Vernon scored the 14 points and the game was out of reach at that point, they shut out in order now Keystone Oaks, Hopewell, Montour, and then the first round of the playoffs, Derry, allowed the 14 to Bell Vernon, and Highlands shut out last week. So 6 of the last 7 games have been shutouts. The prospects for Blackhawk are not very good at this point.
And that was a very, very good football team from Highlands that they beat last week.
Undefeated coming into that game. Here's the squib kick. And he went out of bounds with it.
Let me ask you this, guys. If we had instant replay in high school, And if that was broadcast up to the instant replay booth and you had to make a decision, what way would you have gone?
I would have called it a muff. I would have given Moon the ball right there.
I would have done what the NFL does and say that it was inconclusive, the whistle blew, and I'm not showing up my buddy down in the field. That's what they do.
Or you can flip a coin.
Or you can flip a coin. Heads I win, tails you lose.
That's right.
The Phil Luckett coin toss. No, I would have called that a muff, although it was closer. But I do think, unless the official who called the play dead misinterpreted the rule, then the play had to be dead.
Yeah, right.
Tough call. It took us 4 looks at the replay to see it, and things happen a lot faster out there, obviously.
Listeners getting a couple. Blackhawk is shell-shocked. They are not used to this. Remember, they came into this game 11-0, undefeated. I would also suggest that even if the official who called the play down is dead wrong, his call's got to stand.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no proviso. And they say, well, if another guy comes in and says, well, I saw it differently, well, it doesn't matter.
Why didn't he argue the point?
You know, if you're not sure, don't make the call.
Well, you know, I'll tell you something. These two guys right here, Blackhawk and Moon, there are a lot of AAA teams that would not want to play a quad A schedule next year. These two guys could probably play that kind of a schedule. That's how good they play defense. You know, and let's face it, you know, Blackhawk plays good defense as well. They've not had a great offensive night tonight because of those guys in those red pants and white shirts.
Well, we reached the end of the first half of play, and to say that this is a minor surprise would be a major understatement. Let's go down to the field and Bill Fontana. Bill.
Thanks, Dan. I'm here with the head coach for Moon. He's Mark Capuana. Mark, a very crucial play here from the specialty teams. What did you view on the touchdown play where you recovered the football?
Well, he definitely had possession of the ball. He started to run with it, and we got hit and fumbled, and Timmy Morrow picked it up and ran it for a touchdown. It was a great play. You know, turnovers, we talked about it before. This is a game, you know, you can't give those turnovers, and we got lucky in this one. We got to just keep it going the second half and not give them any breaks.
Mark, defensively, you told me earlier in the week that your tackles are probably Division I ball players and the best in the conference. They seem to be creating havoc for Blackhawk.
Well, yeah, our 2 defensive tackles are very tough. They stand in there tall. They don't allow the line to get a push on it. Our linebackers are very active. You know, that gets me getting after the football, not giving them much time to throw the ball healthy.
Mark, are you surprised at the score right now? You told me earlier in the week that your team gang tackles defensively, and they have done the job tonight.
Well, we got to keep on going after 24 more minutes. This game's long from over. Blackhawk's a great football team. We're not conceding anything, and we just have to keep it going. Our offense has done a great job of moving the ball and eating that clock up. We're going to continue the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Capuana, the head coach of the Moon Tigers. Go and enjoy or discuss some strategy here in the second half. We're going to take a break and come back more with AAA high school football from Fox Sports Pittsburgh after we pause for these messages.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Neil, you heard what Joe had to say, but they are a run-oriented offense, and I would imagine that the successes that Dane Helsing has had passing, and he's completed 54% of his passes, have been because largely the running success of Wisner. Now you have to throw that out the window.
I don't think that Joe's going to throw anything out the window right now. I think you know, if he's going to start spreading and throwing the ball all the time, he's going to put himself in more of a hole. I think he has to get back to Wisner and the things that got them here, and you know, get that first 7 points on the board. He'll be fine. He's got to get the momentum back from the Moon people.
Well, Don, let me ask you. Let me take you inside the Moon locker room with Mark Capuano. You've been playing an aggressive defense all the way. Now you're up 3 touchdowns. Do you hold back like we saw him rush 4, or do you continue to put the pressure on Blackhawk defensively?
You continue to put the pressure. I mean, you've got people that can get it done for you each and every week. You've got 8 shutouts. Okay, they're working on 9 right now. Absolutely. Pin your ears back. Get after them on every snap. That's what Capuano's telling his people. His Moon Tigers are excited about it. But on the flip side, let me say this. I think that Blackhawk will not have a chance unless they do something to neutralize that line of scrimmage, because they're getting beat offensively and defensively in the trenches.
And remember that Moon will get the second half kickoff, so Every comeback begins with defense. Blackhawk has got to stop Moon on this first possession. Blackhawk, shockingly, no first downs in the first half. And this is an offense that averages 32 points per game, and they play in the same conference, so they're playing the same level of competition.
Yeah, they know each other, and Moon has taken it to them and got the momentum. You know, it's incredible. 12 yards rushing, 5 yards passing, 17 total yards. Something has to be done about that. They don't have a chance.
Joe Hamilton was kind of prophetic, too. When they won their last playoff game and they knew that Moon had won their playoff game against Highlands, he said, we're proud of 2 teams from the Parkway are going to be in Three Rivers. I'm not happy I got to play Moon.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly what he said. I thought, interesting enough, that the time of possession is virtually the same. That tells you that Moon had the 2 long plays, the 58-yard touchdown pass, and then, of course, the fumble return.
I don't see either team stand in the second half taking the ball and driving it consistently 80, 85 yards. I think it's going to be a big play that's going to get Blackhawk into it.
We want to remind you, of course, coming up at 7 o'clock, Penguin Hockey on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. You've read all about this. We've had to amend things just a little bit because of the length of the first 2 games. Here's what we're going to do. We will join Penguin Hockey at 7 o'clock. The Pens up in Montreal for that game at the Molson Center. After that Penguin Hockey game at 11 o'clock, we will show you the Quad A championship game between North Allegheny. That will be at 11 o'clock, and as soon as that game is over, obviously that is going to be delayed on tape, but as soon as that game is over, we will show you the AAA game in its entirety, from the beginning all the way through, because we're going to be midway through the 3rd quarter when we have to cut away for Penguin Hockey. So that's the way it'll work. At 11 o'clock tonight, we will have the Quad A game in its entirety, Newcastle against North Allegheny, followed by the AAA game, Blackhawk and Moon in its entirety. But during the hockey game, you watch the Penguin game, we will have updates on what's going on in all those ball games and up to the minute scores. Have I thoroughly confused everyone?
You thoroughly confused me.
Okay. Me too.
I understood everything you said.
Well, then you're in big trouble. If you figure that out, then I'm still working on it. Well, I must say, guys, that I don't know that anybody up here anticipated that this would be the score either way, but especially with Moon on top 21-0 at the half.
Well, I'm certainly not surprised by the 0 that Blackhawk has posted, but I am surprised at the 21 on the other side of the coin there.
That's true. And if this thing was going to come out any other way, I mean, if somebody would have said somebody's going to be up 21-0 at the half, in your gut feeling, you'd have thought it'd been Blackhawk.
I think so, too, only because they've been here so many times.
That's right.
Here's the kick. And the return will take it across the 20 and out to the 23-yard line. The return by Ben Cole, a sophomore. And so the Moon Tigers, from their own 23-yard line, will take it 1st and 10. And again, any comeback, I don't care what the sport, begins with defense. Blackhawk must hold here.
And expect Joe Hamilton's kids to do just that. They certainly haven't given up the ship yet, and look for a great defensive series out of them this first time through.
It will be telltale. They're still in that 50.
Wing Tobin and bring him in motion to the near side. Inside handoff to the fullback, T.J. Cap. And Cap, big, strong, tough runner, gets forward to the 27. T.J. Cap, a senior, 5'11", 205 pounds, averaged nearly 6 yards per carry. Alex DeKilla made the tackle for Blackhawk. Give him 4, make it 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, T.J. Cap's the pounder inside. They took Tobin and put him on the flank spot with a single setback, and if they're going to do some pounding up front there, it's going to be Cap that's going to do most of that.
They've done a smart job with Tobin tonight, putting him out there on the perimeter sometime and throwing the ball to him.
And now they're in a power eye, the 3 backs.
Power eye to the right side on 2nd down. Tobin is going to be dropped for a loss back to the 25-yard line. Good penetration by Trent Wisner. Jared Marsilio also there to clean up, and Wisner, leading ball carrier for Blackhawk, has had a bigger impact defensively. Interesting between the 2 fullbacks, T.J. Cap and Shansky. Both of them are fullbacks. Both of them play middle linebacker, and both wear number 33, cut from the same cloth.
Fullback in high school is just a pulling guard and a linebacker.
That's right. He can touch the ball legally. 3rd down, 7. Big play for Moon, an even bigger play for Blackhawk.
Single set.
Miller, pump fake.
He's got a man
wide open.
He's got him there.
Andre Neely to the 10, dragged out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
What a great throw Miller just made downfield there. What a wonderfully designed play.
Great protection. You have to have great protection if you're going to go with a pump and go like they did there. But out of a pro set, he was looking that way all the time.
The kid just flew by the corner. He was open the whole way.
He's got the best speed of anyone on Moon's team. Andre Neely, he's only a junior. He's 5'9". He can really jet. And it is a great throw. Caught him right inside. Good hustle by Lodovico to bring him down and save, at least temporarily, a touchdown.
Back to the power eye motion.
Student body left. But Tobin won't gain a yard. He'll be stopped.
Blackhawk had 8 men in the box. They had a 62 stack, and they brought them all.
Bill Arbogast and Brandon Apple make the tackle for Blackhawk. But Neely, I mentioned earlier in that first game, was responsible, directly or indirectly, for 4 turnovers. He's already made 2 big plays today.
Yes, he has. He had a wonderful night.
He's kind of a wing. He's the backup tailback, but he's more of a wing back, slot back kind of guy. And they got him out there, isolated on coverage, and boom, he was wide open. 2nd down and goal. Jason Thompson split near the sideline to the near side. Here's the keeper by Pat Miller. He got to the 2-yard line.
You saw that crease again, Stan. As soon as he saw it, he turned it up.
And beat the tackle of Dane Helsing, who had to come up and hit him. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line. And if they get in here and it's 28-0, it's lights out.
Yeah, I think so, too. This is a critical stand for Blackhawk. And again, Don, I think you're right. Pat Miller's coming down on that option. He's got somebody to pitch to, but that guy might as well go to the bench. He's not getting the ball.
Absolutely. He's taking the option out of the option by keeping the ball himself.
9 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. 3rd down and goal inside the 2-yard line. Inside handoff to the fullback. Cap, no gain. You can hear that pop up here. Cap stop for no gain. It'll be 4th and goal.
That's a tough play to run against that 62. Look, the Blackhawks in straight ahead because you know you're outnumbered there. You got a linebacker stacked over. You got covered with the guard. You covered with the tackle. You covered with the tight end. And here comes a linebacker free up through that B gap. You can't block them unless you've got a lead.
Look at the penetration they got too. You know, most of those defensive people are going to grub through those gaps and come through low and hard. It's tough to root them out of there.
Well, there's your nose tackle, Joe Conforti. He submarine the play, and Brandon Apple gets credit for the tackle. Now it's 4th and goal, and here is Jared Moyer. He had 8 field goals this year. This, in essence, is an extra point, a 19-yarder straightaway. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So now Moon up 24-0. Has a lead of 3 touchdowns with 3 2-point conversions. 8:08 to play, 3rd quarter. Moon in control, 24-0.
Big plays. This really surprised me. This isn't Joe Hamilton's team here. Well, is Moon that good?
Yeah, Moon's good tonight. They've been good all year, but they're real good tonight.
Yeah. And how about the protection that time?
Great protection.
There was nobody in the screen.
No.
Well, they averaged 25 a game. Of course, you never know how much that was created by their defense.
25 a game. They're playing a lot of puppies there, too.
Yeah.
You know what? They beat Bell Vernon 38-14, and Bell Vernon's not a bad football team.
Okay. Well, Joe Hamilton has been here many times, and believe it or not, he's lost a couple, as a matter of fact. He's lost 2. In 1994, McGuffey beat him 12-6, and way back in the dark ages, in 1988, I was still in high school, Al Equipa beat Blackhawk 36-7. What can you tell us about that?
I can't even remember that far back.
You ran out of shoe black, and it's so far back.
Never run out of that stuff.
Whistler finally picks up the rolling kickoff and gets back to the 15-yard line. The field goal drive for Moon. The big play, of course, the bomb to Andre Neely. 8 plays, 75 yards. Took 3 minutes and 52 seconds off the clock. And the field goal by Jared Moyer. 24-0, 8:03 to play in the 3rd.
We got a guy down for Moon here, Stan. You know, there's no question that Moon right now should have every psychological advantage going for it, right or wrong. Okay?
Well, like you said in the pregame, they need to do what's brought them here. They need to continue to pin them back and play all those games up front, continue to twist and so forth. Blackhawk has scored, as Joe said. Blackhawk has scored 21 points before. They can do it again. Moon needs to do. They have the momentum. They need to keep it.
Well, here's the deal now. They score 3 touchdowns, Blackhawk does. Go for 3 two-point conversions, make them all, and we're in overtime at 3 o'clock in the morning.
At 3 o'clock, it'll be later than that if it goes into overtime. You're just getting in then. You can watch yourself. We can't yet identify the player who's down. As soon as we do, we'll let you know. In all honesty, is the Moon defense better than you thought it would be?
I thought they were good, but you know, that's a heck of a defense so far. A great first half, and like I said before, they're big up front. They have big size up front. They have activity out of the 2 linebackers, but it's a perfect defense. The two ends are containing very well, putting the pressure on. They've been the sack leaders, Morrow and Crawford. The 2 tackles are Division I players at 255 and 265. Keen Rogers. Philo at the nose is causing major problems in there. And then you have those 2 linebackers sitting right there. Pat Miller, the quarterback, is a 3-year starter at the corner. So Danilo and Cap are playing the linebacker spots. That's a solid unit right now, and everybody's doing everything right.
But these 2 teams play September 11th. And Capuano and his ball club, they played a tough defensive game. They didn't have much offense because Blackhawk was equally proficient defensively, and it ends up 13-10. And what's amazing, you know, I was looking forward to watching Moon. I wanted to see their defense. I've heard so much about it, but I knew Blackhawk had a good defense as well. But when you got a running back like Trent Wisner, who's been a 3-year starter, he's played in 3 Rivers twice. He has over 1,600 yards this year. He scored 25 touchdowns. He belongs to the very select WPIAL 4,000+ yards club. You don't expect to see him get shut down that way.
That, by the way, was Lucas McCormick. He's a sophomore, number 67. Appeared to be his left leg. If we get a report, we'll pass it along to you. Here's Wisner. On the inside handoff across the 15 to the 17, a gain of 2. John Rogers, number 75, made the tackle. 2nd down and 8. Now, the key players to keep an eye on, obviously the quarterback, Dane Helsing, but the receivers, Adam Koneski, number 8, Bill Arbogast, he is number 9. Their 2nd best receiver, or most productive receiver, Justin Best, is out. We should point that out too. He's got a broken collarbone, so that will hurt them. Adam Lodovico, number 22, has caught 3 touchdown passes as well. Helsing, ball batted away. Outstanding job by Tim Morrow, number 21, who has just been in the backfield. They might as well put a green jersey on him.
That's the 2nd one I think he rejected tonight. It is the 2nd one he rejected tonight.
Well, Timmy Morrow, of course, returned that fumble for a touchdown. He is only a junior. That should give some AAA coaches some heartburn. 6'1", 205 pounds, plays wide receiver. Playing a big game tonight. 3rd down and 8. Pitch to Wisner, looking to cut back against the grain. And that Moon defense just pursues so well, keeping their lane. The gain is 3. It'll be 4th down and 5. Mickey Keene and TJ Cap make the tackles. It'll be 4th down and force Helsing to punt once again. And Blackhawk still without a 1st down. This is remarkable.
Without a 1st down, I think they've ran 16 plays for the entire game. Joe Hamilton said something at 13 at halftime. It's
13.
It's 16 now.
And Wisner has 17 yards and 8 carries. Here's the punt, and this is Neely. You know, he's got great speed, looking for the wall. Can't quite get outside because they were beginning to set it up. Curling back. Nonetheless, Moon has the ball at their own 44-yard line. A shutout is one thing. No 1st downs with 6:36 to play in the 3rd quarter is quite another. As you look at Andre Neely, who caught that long pass from quarterback Pat Miller.
If this maintains itself, this will actually, this tape of this game could be a clinic for defensive football in high school.
1st down and 10. I want to ask you what they do differently. Surely, obviously, Mark Capuano does some things off the base defense, but to the 47-yard line for a gain of a couple. In all seriousness, you've watched this defense for 2+ quarters, and even before that, what does he do perhaps differently that other teams don't or don't do as well?
Well, I think what Don said before is so critical here. Regardless of what you're going to do from a run and shoot to a power I, you need to control the line of scrimmage, and you know, whoever dominates the trenches is probably going to win the game. And right now, Moon is totally dominating Blackhawk on the front line.
Second down. Tobin gets near the 50, just shy. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Tackle made by Brandon Apple. Brandon is a senior for Blackhawk at 6'2", 250. Well, obviously you have to have people.
Well, just to respond to what you were asking, Stan, you know, Capuano has always been known as an outstanding high school defensive coach. I mean, he's coached a lot of teams that were 6-4, 5-5, teams that got in the playoffs, lost in the first round. But then all of a sudden you come up with the same defensive philosophy, but you got some really tough, hard-nosed, quick, get-after kids. There's the answer.
3rd down, 5, and Miller is going to call for a timeout. He had a slot right. He was going to call a timeout. Just an interesting stat. Blackhawk has run 14 plays from scrimmage, and they've gained 22 yards.
I say no more.
I know Joe Hamilton. I'll tell you something. If this maintains itself and this ends up this way, this guy will not sleep for the next 10 months. He won't sleep for the next 10 months, I'm telling you.
I don't know who Blackhawk opens with in the 99 season, but I'm glad it's not Penn Hills.
I have a feeling that it's going to be Baldwin. He'll be on the phone.
Well, it's not going to be Baldwin. I think it's going to be center. And the guy at center, Donnie Phillips, is probably right now calling his athletic director, asking if he can cancel that opener.
You know, Blackhawk has played some pretty good defense here in their own right. There's been some big plays that have cost them. Moon hasn't really taken the ball and consistently pounded it down the field. But the breakdowns will kill you. And in a critical game with evenly matched teams, big plays can be devastating. And Blackhawk is finding that out right now.
The only drive, per se, was the first one where Miller scored on the quarterback option.
Right. And that was half the field, I believe. They got the ball around midfield, I believe.
Yeah, it was a 59-yard drive. 3rd down, 5. Miller option.
Oh, he threw it
this time.
And there's plenty of room to run. Tobin inside the 30 and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Miller ran that beautifully, and just when the linebacker came up to hit him, he got rid of it, and Tobin gets 25 yards for a 1st down.
We got to tell it like it is now.
Get a stock block here by the wideout. Springs him right there.
Well, they kept the ball so many times. The quarterback kept it up the crease, One time he finally makes the pitch. He hasn't pitched since the beginning of the 1st quarter, and they get away with it. Tobin makes a nice run. But this Moon offense, it's on the go now. I mean, this offense is on the go.
Well, Miller played off the defensive end just beautifully. Tobin again gets 5 at a crack, and you can see the resolve beginning to slip away. 5 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. It's 24-0, and Moon going in for the kill.
Yeah, Chris Zona, maybe a name we haven't mentioned all that much. That split end, 6'4", 190-pound senior, doing a great job on the perimeter blocking.
And he is their leading receiver. 21 catches this year. Hasn't caught one so far today.
I read a lot of things in the newspaper where they said that Newcastle was maybe a team on the mission. The team is going to be in the Quad A game. Maybe Moon's a team on the mission.
Well, I know one thing. If they don't score, you can't lose. So if you start thinking about the PIAA playoffs, here's the inside hand up to Cap. Who'll get down to the 23, maybe the 22-yard line to bring up a 3rd down and 2. You play that kind of defense, you got a chance.
Did we not hear earlier today that Berwick lost?
They did. 14-7, I think the score was.
Berwick lost. Perennial AAA powerhouse there.
Must have been a bad year for recruiting for George.
He never has a bad year recruiting.
A reminder that Penguin hockey is coming up in just 3 minutes. Penguins at Montreal will be standing vigil here at Three Rivers Stadium after the hockey game, and a bit of Fox Sports News at 11 o'clock. We will have the Quad A championship game between North Allegheny and Newcastle for you, and then immediately following the entire Quad A championship game, we'll be replaying the entire AAA championship game that you're watching at present. So we won't pick it up where we left off. We'll go back to the beginning, and you can see how Moon has stunned Blackhawk as they move in for the kill. 1st down on that play at the 12-yard line.
And again, Stan, they're starting to knock them off the ball.
Hey, you know, the mind can only take so much in a game like this. And these Blackhawk kids, you can't blame them if they get a little bit down.
Well, especially when you haven't tasted defeat, it goes down real hard that first time. Inside hand up to Tobin, and the holes are getting very large. They get to the 5-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 3. One other reminder that during tonight's hockey game, we will keep you posted on what is going on in this game, but also in the live action in the Quad A game between North Allegheny and Newcastle. A little bit of convoluted programming tonight, but hang with us.
Convoluted?
Convoluted.
We go from the carpet to the ice. Is that right, Stan?
There we go. I remember some Penguin teams that looked like they were skating on carpet.
And some of my teams have looked like they played on ice.
The inside handoff will be short of the first down to bring up 3rd down at about 2.
Does he go for another field goal?
Well, that would ice it. Not the.
Oh, it's 3rd down. It's not 4th yet. Huh?
Yeah, it's still 3rd.
Okay, 3rd.
I think you'll see an option here. The novice, the non-professional, that's just works so well for them.
Well, the way they're knocking them off the ball, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw that double dive in there, faking to the fullback the one way and giving to the tail the other way.
Well, whatever they do, I hope they do it in the next 52 seconds, because that's all we got left before we have to go to Montreal. 3rd down, 2 from the 5-yard line.
Quick pitch.
Pitch wide to Tobin. Tobin inside. He'll be very close to the 1st down. If not, it'll be 4th down and inches. And one would have to assume that Moon would go for it on 4th down and inches.
I would think so. Even if they're unsuccessful, it gives Blackhawk 96 yards to go for a score. So,
but if he kicks the field goal, those 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions.
Well, that field goal kicker's coming into the game right now.
Well, we're going to have to wait until early this morning to see it. Right now, we will be going live to Montreal. The Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens. We'll see you back at 11 with the Quad A championship game. All right, Jared Moyer will attempt the 20-yard field goal. He's got one from 19. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And so Jared Moyer has hit his 2nd field goal this half, and that gives Moon a lead, 27-0, 1:18 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Even more importantly, it's taken it now from feasible 3 scores to 4 scores, and Joe certainly has his back to the wall right now with 1:18 left in the 3rd quarter.
Back to the wall. Let me tell you something. That's a depressing situation to be in right now. That's a very depressing sideline. I mean, you win 11 games in a row. You get to Three River Stadium. Even if you get beat, you want to make a good showing. And you got a good ball club. And for whatever reason, today, this evening, they did not play like a good ball club. Of course, Moon had a lot to do with it.
The only bad thing about this setup is that once you get into the playoffs, regardless of how great a season you've had, you're going to end it on a loss unless you win the state championship. And it's difficult at this time to look at how great of a season you had when your last performance ended up with that W. I mean, that L.
And then again, you know, here's another consideration. How many times do you beat the same team twice in one season? Because in high school, if you're going to play them twice, obviously you're going to play them in a playoff game as well as a regular season game. So that's a difficult thing today to do, rather. Rochester found that out. The first time they played Monaca this year, they walloped them 29-7 or something. And look what happened today.
Well, then why didn't I beat North Allegheny the 2nd time through?
They have better players than you do.
Well, he didn't say anything about the coaching, Neil.
I'm standing on his foot.
There's the kickoff. And out near the 29-yard line. Looks like a late flag was thrown in. Now, given the way this thing plays out, Moon will be the WPIAL AAA champion. Does Blackhawk get an automatic bid to the PIAA? Or is it one and that's it?
One, and as I was mentioning, once you get into this this playoff run, you lose, you're done. And you know, these kids are going to sit there. They're 11-0 right now, and it's going to be tough to swallow that it was a great season. You know, maybe next Monday or Tuesday you can sit back and say, well, it was a great year. Right now, it's not a great year because you ended with a loss.
And like you said, with Berwick out, this was an opportunity for a Western Pennsylvania team. And really, we have not done well in state competition.
Not on that level.
Not on the AAA level, no.
First down and 10, 44-yard line. 15-yard penalty on Moon. Helsing's in trouble. Breaks one tackle, fumbles the football. It is rolling loose, and there goes Moon once again. And going Mickey Keene. Helsing was stripped of the football by Tim Morrow, who's got to be the player of the game. Mickey Keene picked it up, ran for the touchdown, and now it is 33-0.
We've got a personal foul on the field, too. I don't know if it's against Blackhawk or Moon, but they threw it near the Blackhawk bench.
Mickey Keene, 6'4", 255 pounds, and a junior. And as I had mentioned pregame, a Division I talent. Just showed a little bit of quickness for a 255-pound junior there.
There it is on the replay.
40-yard fumble recovery and return by Mickey Keene, but let's give credit. Alex Philo, the nose tackle, is the one who flushed Helsing. Then came Tim Morrow, who forced the fumble, and Keene picked it up and rumbled all the way in.
And did a monkey roll in the end zone, a lineman's dream.
I touched the football once in the 6 years I played football. 3 of them were the 9th grade, by the way.
What position did you play?
I played tackle. I did, offensive and defensive tackle, and I recovered a fumble once, and it remained the highlight of my athletic career. I touched the ball.
Well, when you play, they could throw a tackle pass too.
Look at the relentless pressure. You know, Moon's been doing it all night. There's not just one person there. There's a second one you can see. There's a slew of people all over the quarterback.
Boy, Timmy Morrow, he played a tremendous game. He's only a junior.
He's been outstanding.
By the way, so is Mickey Keene. So if you're thinking about Moon reloading next year, that right side of that defense is going to be back.
Well, Neely's also a junior.
And he only plays 4 guys both ways on his ball club. Blackhawk plays 8 both ways.
Yep. And that's a factor at this point also.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find even the kids are they're 16, 17 years old that you try to stay away from going both ways with them for a fatigue factor?
You know, one of the all-time arguments between Art Bernardi at Butler and Andy Urbanek at Penn Hills. Art Bernardi was a 2-platoon man the whole way. And Andy's statement always was to Art, if I have a player as good as Bill Freilich, then I'll 2-platoon. Until I find another Freilich, Freilich's going both ways.
We're talking about human beings now. I'm not talking about a superhuman like Bill Freilich. Saw him at Pitt Stadium a couple months back. He was a guest on Sports Beat. Just looks terrific.
Yeah, he lost a ton of weight.
Yes, he sure did.
Yeah.
Had Billy Don to do the pregame speech for my game at Pitt Stadium last week.
Kickoff return across the 30 and out to the 32-yard line. 52 seconds left to go in this ball game, or excuse me, third quarter.
I saw the interview they did down at Pitt Stadium at halftime talking to Freilich, and you know what he said? They said, what are you doing here, Bill? You're a busy guy. You make a lot of money. You don't live in Pennsylvania anymore. He says, hey, Penn Hills is a big part of my life. And anytime I can come back and do something for Penn Hills, I want to do that. And you know, those are the kind of guys you really appreciate. They come out of high school, make a big name for themselves, never forget where they came from. They'll come home and do what they can to help the old alma mater.
And I do think that in a lot of, without being overly provincial, I think that probably is more prevalent in western Pennsylvania than some other areas of the country.
I think you're right.
Morrow is after Helsing again, and he almost and does force the interception.
Now they say no.
No, T.J. Kapp came down with the ball. They're saying no. Nonetheless, what a great play by Tim Morrow, who had to come from right defensive end, chase Helsing all the way across the field. Look at the speed he shows.
No backside hinge by Blackhawk. Moon is talented enough that if Blackhawk makes a mistake, they're going to pay.
He caught that ball. Not to be critical, Helsing paid a severe price for that. But I thought he caught the ball. I really do. Second down and 10.
Here come the linebackers.
Wisner finally finds a bit of a seam. He gains 6 out to the 38. That may be his longest gain.
Oh, by far it's his longest gain. Might be his longest gain by 4.
And remember, as the clock runs out in the third quarter, Blackhawk has still not gotten the first down.
That doesn't happen very often in a championship football game. Somebody doesn't get a first down.
No, these two teams are solid. And you would expect Blackhawk maybe to have some trouble with the Moon defense, but to have no first downs is just unheard of. Kineski is hobbling to the sidelines.
He's limping off. Yeah, he's being attended to by Joe Hamilton and some of the trainers.
Number 8, Adam Kineski. He's the tight end, 6'2", 215-pound senior. Third down and a bit more than 2.
Nice strong formation.
Here come left. Play fake. Helsing in trouble. Breaks one tackle. He's got the first down. On the last play of the third quarter, Helsing scrambles individual effort all the way for the first down. Their first down of the game, remarkably. We have reached the end of the third quarter of play. The score, Moon 34, Blackhawk nothing. We'll be back at the start of the fourth quarter right after this. Fresh off their initial first down of the ball game, we begin the fourth quarter. Blackhawk during 46. Helsing rushed out of the pocket. Pass is incomplete. Outstanding defense. Jim Mann, the strong safety, closed beautifully on that ball and got his hands on it and knocked it away. Mann is a backup quarterback. He's a junior at 675 pounds.
Blackhawk ran a sprint out double hook. That's a safe play. That should be open. They close on the ball so quick.
Yeah, Moon, for a team that wasn't supposed to have too much offense, has put up 277 yards in 3 quarters. That's not too shabby.
5 passing yards for Blackhawk. And remember now, while they're a ground-oriented team, they did throw 10, 13 times a game on average and completed 54% of their passes. So the passing game is not necessarily foreign to them. Middle linebacker blitz. He saw the middle linebacker sneaking up, and it caused him to fumble the snap. Loss of a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Blackhawks keeping those 2 running backs in to try to offset a little bit of that inside pressure.
Now that is Lucas McCormick, injured earlier in the third quarter, junior. Interior lineman. Hope he's all right. It's like the knee. Well, hope it's just a sprain. Now Moon has called a timeout to debate this 3rd and 11 play. Don't forget to join us every Monday through Friday evening from 7, 8 p.m. I remember him, Stan and Guy, Franco. We'll be on the air Monday to talk about what happened in Detroit on Thursday, and also present a piece of tape that we showed a couple of weeks ago with Jerome Bettis that was a portent of things to come. Tuesday, we'll be on the air at 7 o'clock live from the arena. The Penguins play the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Wednesday, Nolan Harrison will join us on the show. Thursday this week, Bino Cook will join us on the show.
In the middle of the field here, Stan and Neil, is a Panther. The Pitt Panthers from last night when they played West Virginia.
Yep.
And these 3 of these last 4 teams in AAA and Quad A, we got Cougars, Tigers, and Tigers.
And there's a Tiger on the sideline, Bill Fontana. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Stan, thank you very much. You know, an interesting story as we watch Mark Capuana, 78-84. He felt things weren't going in the right direction. He quit. And he quit because his dad had passed away, too. Then the next year, when he wanted to come back, they hired a different direction. They went another way. They brought a new coach in, and he wanted the job, didn't get it. A very humbling experience for Mark. Then in '92, they gave him the job, and it's been nothing but roses since. The story of Mark Capuana.
Cappy's done a great job. He really has. I mentioned earlier it's the 2nd time around, and I bet he's very, very happy he got this job the 2nd time around because it's been delightful as opposed to his first experience.
Yeah, he's done a remarkable job. Dayton Helsing was in the sights of Nathan Crawford coming from the blind side and scrambled out of there, and so now Blackhawk with its 2nd first down of the ball game. 1st down and 10 at the Moon 42-yard line. Moon, of course, would like to observe its shutout. Blackhawk would like to score at least 1.
Still all kinds of pressure. That left tackle came through there.
And he had Lodovico open at the 30 for a first down. Wasn't able to get it there. I think Blackhawk would like to score 1 just to say, hey, at least we scored 1. And Moon, of course, wants another shutout, which would be their 9th.
Blackhawk needs to get to some screens and draws and some things to try to offset this pass rush because they're getting mowed over.
Believe me when I tell you, Stan, you couldn't be more correct. There's no question that Joe Hamilton does not want to be shut out in this football game. That's why he's encouraging his troops to come on, let's execute this offense. Let's get in the end zone. Let's make a decent, respectable showing here at the end. And Capuano and his staff, they want the shutout.
Well, Helsing is only 1 out of 10. And he is a 54% passer, so you have to look at the pressure. I think you're right, Neil. Screens, those kinds of things might work. There's a pass, and it is caught. Koneski.
8-man rush that time.
And Koneski's limping.
He made a great catch there. That ball was thrown behind him. He turned around and come back for it.
And they're going to be short. It'll be 3rd down and about 1.5 yards for a first down.
Watch that ball thrown behind Koneski if you can see it there. There it is.
He's playing on a gimpy right knee, too.
He's coming inside. The ball's thrown over to his right. Great concentration on the ball.
Neely made the tackle. He's one who caught that 69-yard bomb for Moon. 3rd down, 1.5 yards for a first down. Power formation.
They're coming off the corner hard.
The inside handoff to Wisner. Quick opener, quick hitter. He gains nice yardage of about 8 yards down to the 25-yard line, and that'll be Blackhawks' 3rd first down of the ball game, and their only drive. But keep in mind, Moon up 30, 4-0.
You know, this drive is a little bit indicative of what kind of program Joe runs at Blackhawk and why they're here year in and year out. This is character now. This game is, from all intents and purposes, gone by, and Joe's kids are fighting to get into that end zone. A lot of character being shown right here.
Well, if you look at Joe, he hasn't quit coaching. I'll promise you that. There's only 9+ to go in the game, but he's still coaching his team.
Wisner off his left end, cuts back to the 19-yard line, gain of 7, 2nd down and 3. Jim Petrina, the free safety, a senior, 6'2", 160, makes the tackle for the Moon Tigers on their way to their first ever WPIAL AAA championship game. In case you missed it, earlier on in the Class A game, Rochester defeated Monaca in overtime, 24-18. The AA championship goes to Shadyside Academy. They beat Wash High 30-12, and all kinds of mumbling, stumbling, and grumbling.
Little movement on the left side of the offensive line for Blackhawk. It's an unusual formation they're using here, Don.
Yeah, it's what we call an X formation.
Yeah.
And what's happening over here, see Moon, they're shifting around so much on defense. Those linebackers are coming up, they're feigning the blitz and everything else. And those Blackhawk kids, those offensive linemen, you know, they're trying to pick up what their blocking scheme should be, and they get a little early move on it on their part.
A reminder to join Guy Junker and Rich Emmert of the Tribune Review every Friday night at midnight for High School Extra. And when we leave the football season, we'll be rejoining you for basketball. There's the junior partner. They really do a great job in that show, except for the one night I had a host.
I saw that night.
Yeah,
you did okay. You were all right.
You see me sneaking my reading glasses in there every 2 minutes. There's kind of a counter play, crossbuck they used to call it, down to the 20-yard line. And Jim Morrow made the tackle. They do a great job. Producer Richard Sutphin and Guy, and it's I'm biased, but the best high school show in the area.
I tell you what, the media in the Pittsburgh area has done a tremendous job with high school athletics in the past decade or so, and Fox, without a doubt, has taken the forefront. What you guys have done in high school athletics has been dynamite.
Well, thanks, Don. It's really what we should do, in all honesty. As an all-sports regional station, that's what we should be doing, and it's fun to be involved. Helsing cuts inside the pass rusher. Now cuts up to the 15, inside the 15 to the 13. And Dane Helsing has gained another first down. He's pretty much done this all himself. Dave Bunda, number 64, junior linebacker, made the tackle for Moon as Mark Capuano starts to get in some of the backup players.
And you can tell, see, Helsing right now, he's beating people. I mean, he's making people miss, and he's getting yardage that he normally wouldn't have gotten in the first half or the first 2.5, 3 quarters. Here comes the replay. He's rolling to his right, looking for a receiver. Can't find one. Makes a guy miss.
Took a pretty nice pop here at the end, too. Right there.
Blitz inside. Wisner off the corner. Gets a couple to the 11, maybe the 10. Give him 3. 2nd and 7. Tim Morrow makes another tackle.
Be pretty tough to pick a defensive player of the game for this Moon outfit, huh?
Yeah. We may not even have to take a vote.
Tim Morrow certainly would be in the hunt.
You got a game ball, you give it to 11 guys.
This defense, I think that's a wise call. They're trying to preserve their 9th shutout in what, 13 games.
Awesome defense.
Yep. 2nd down and 7.
6-man front and 2 linebackers.
They're bringing 8.
That makes 8.
Option
Nice pitch.
He's going to score.
Touchdown, Blackhawk.
That's all character right there. That is all character.
Scott Nasher scored the touchdown, the junior tailback. And Dane Helsing not only engineered that drive, but paid a severe physical price on almost every play. He waited to the last second, took the pop, and got the touchdown.
You know, sometimes you call the right play against the right defense, and with Moon bringing 8 people and those 2 linebackers up the gut, you run that option to the perimeter, it's the right play.
And they still had some people out there.
Well, you know, the fewest amount of points that Blackhawks scored all year long up until this game was the 13 against Moon. Eric McMillan with the extra point. 6:36 to play in the AAA championship game. The Moon Tigers have their hands around the throat to that trophy. They lead 34-7. For the Cougars, they still trail 34-7, and you see, we'll get a picture here that there are 10 Moon players between the 40 and 50. They expect the onside kick. Let's see if they get it. Kickers line up at an angle.
Boy, that was a great kick, too. That's exactly the way you draw it up.
Moon's got it, however.
That was a great kick.
Yeah.
And you get a bounce, a high bounce like that, you know, chances are you're going to be able to pick that ball off as a kicking team.
Eric Blackburn, number 15, is the place kicker. He was 41 out of, make it 42 out of 45 on extra points. He also plays receiver, but he suffered a separated shoulder, and they were hopeful that he'd be ready to play on the PIAAs. But of course, now that's not going to matter.
You know what a big secret to a successful football season is? It's how healthy do you stay. And you know, both of these teams have had their share of injuries during the course of the year, but miraculously, a lot of them have come back to play.
Often the team, it's not the best team. Man is now the quarterback. It's not the best team, it's the healthiest team, and it's really become, especially in the NFL, it's a matter of attrition.
That's right.
Yeah, it sure is. And, you know, at the high school level, you know, you're given so many players, and you have to try to get them into the big games, and if they're not there, you have problems.
And in some instances, if you took the Art Bernardi theory and you played 11 on offense and 11 on defense, it would be like give up football because you couldn't win. You got to play your best. You know, if that means you got to start 7 or 8 guys both ways, that's what you do.
Yeah, but Art Bernardi won about 90-some% of his games back when he was coaching up there too. So.
Oh, he did a great job. He got 2,000 boys in the top 3 grades. That helps. I always liked Lindy Laurel's theory. He was a lot like Andy Urbanic. Lindy was, I'm playing my best 11 players, and you know, I got Bruce Clark. He plays both sides of the ball.
Chad Lippincott the first carry, Ben Cole the second. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Clock running, 5:25 to play. These kids aren't used to losing. If you're in the Blackhawk program, you don't lose very often. They have not lost once this year. By the way, Jim Mann is the quarterback, number 15. Starter on strong safety on defense. And they'll let him throw. Pass over the middle, and it is incomplete. Intended over the middle for Adam Miserak. Wisner over on coverage. 4th down, 7.
Stan, you get into a debate sometimes. You're winning by 27 points with not too much time left, and you're throwing the ball, but when you get your backup in there, you need to let him experience throwing. He has to throw the ball.
Well, he's
something could happen.
He's saying, Coach, let me throw 1 pass. Please, Coach, let me throw 1 pass in 3 rivers.
You need to get him to throw the ball. You have a couple more games, hopefully, left here. Your star quarterback is done. The backup needs to have some experience throwing the ball. So,
and maybe this is the guy who runs your club next year.
Right.
He's a junior. Punt block is on, and the punter was hit. Flag is down. Fumble picked up by Blackhawk. That may be a muff. But again, there's going to be a roughing the kicker call against Blackhawk.
That will give Moon the 1st down and the ability to run some more time off the clock.
You know, this Blackhawk offense, every single one of them is a senior. And on defense, there's only 3 juniors. But they'll still be tough next year because they'll have the coaching staff in place. On the other hand, Moon returns a whole bunch of these guys. They've got a bunch back on offense and defense.
Joe Hamilton has the program at Blackhawk where he wants it, and the program's the key.
Absolutely.
You know, you reload those seniors. I was fortunate enough to be on Andy Urbanek's staff back in the late 70s, and 90% of our starting teams were all seniors. Next year there was another load to take their place. So once you get that program into place, you're sitting where you want to sit.
Pitch wide to Cole. Drags a foot out of bounds inside the 30 to near the 28-yard line.
There was a time when this Moon football program was poor. I mean, they were hard-pressed to win 2 games in a season. You know, if they had a good year, they'd go 5-5. But since Capuano's taken over in '92, that's no longer the case. And now the expectations have risen so high that they'll be hard-pressed to go back to those old days again, I promise you that.
You guys see that as when you have a winning program at the high school level, that it manifests itself with more kids coming up to the junior high team and on up, and you that's where you develop a program instead of just a team.
Absolutely. You know, your 7th and 8th grade program and your 9th and 10th grade programs and the midget program in the township, you know, that's your feeder system. You can't go out and recruit. And if you can get those kids fired up to play football and have it the thing to do, you're going to continue to reload and have those numbers. Moon has some good numbers. Blackhawk has good numbers.
The numbers are important, but I'll tell you something that also happens equally as important. That mentality that they're good and that they'll win.
3rd down, 5. Man with the play fake. Cole gets to the initial line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 4th down and 4. Clock running now, under 4 minutes to play in the game. Moon on its way to its first WPIAL championship. They lead 34-7.
And Stan, it doesn't surprise me that Moon's going to win their first championship, but if you would have told me it was going to be 34-7, I would have been a little bit taken back at that statement. What a game they've played tonight on both sides of the ball.
Well, most observers who really follow high school football closely thought this might be the most competitive and best game of the afternoon. Here's the reverse. He's in big trouble. And he'll lose a couple of yards on the wing back reverse. And Blackhawk will take over and down.
Again, you get into this situation here too. You know, you show a reverse. Are you trying to show your next opponent everything or not show them anything? You know, you show them everything, they got headaches and trying to prepare for all this stuff. If you show them nothing, you can spring it on them.
3:01 to play in the football game. Moon leading Blackhawk 34-7. And we'll be back with the remainder of the 4th quarter right after this. After stopping Moon on 4th down, Blackhawk takes over at their own 30-yard line. David DeChellis, the tailback, number 20. He's a junior, 5'7", 150. The new quarterback for Blackhawk is Clayton Hamilton. He is number 12. He's a junior.
Got a lot of backups on both sides of the ball now, Stan.
A lot of new faces.
Well, these kids work just as hard in August.
Absolutely.
As the starters. Nice to be able to reward them, although you'd rather be able to reward them the way that Mark Capuano is able to reward them.
Yeah, and not only do these kids put in so much work, but how well prepared you are for your opponent on Friday depends on what kind of job these kids do during the week, giving you on the scout teams. The better your backup group is, probably the better you're going to be prepared on Friday night.
Joe Hamilton's probably played in championship games, including his stints at New Brighton, 7, 8 times, and he's won 4. Capuano's his first time, and he's won 1. Now, you got to be happy for Capuano. You got to be real happy that he's able to take this team this far and win this thing here this evening.
Hamilton throwing deep, intercepted.
Matthew will probably run about 4 or 5 plays. If he gets a first down, this will be over.
And the pass intercepted by Jason Galati. Hamilton attempting his first pass of the night. There's Jason. Well, we got him on camera. There's a memory he won't soon forget. 41-yard line, 1st and 10, 1:44 to play in the game. Jim Mann with the handoff to his fullback. Chandler gets 1 to the 41. That's not important at this point. Clock running with 1.5 minutes to play. And there's the bath. It's kind of warm out tonight. We've been here some years when it's been about 28 degrees at this point. And your eyebrows get frozen. I'm sure Mark doesn't mind.
The water bath isn't too bad. It's that Gatorade bath that's tough to handle.
Capuano enjoys it no matter what. It would be Gatorade water, whether it was cold or warm. He's won a championship.
Battery acid wouldn't make any difference.
Wouldn't make any difference. Here's
Cole being chased down from behind. Back to the line of scrimmage. Ben Cole. Clock now inside 1 minute to play. Now this was an interesting game in that the field position was turned early by a couple of penalties on punts, by a fumble on a punt, and Blackhawk's back was broken on a punt.
Right. Yeah, the big plays did Blackhawk in tonight.
And the miscues, absolutely the miscues.
And an inability to move the football. Did not get a first down until the final play of the 3rd quarter. Here's the option pitch. Cole just goes down, stays in bounds. Smart play.
Smart play. And
that should be the last play of the football game, and indeed it will be. The Moon Tigers are the 1998 AAA WPIAL champions, and watch them celebrate.
What a great football game. They deserve every minute of it.
And Joe Hamilton's telling his kids, line up, show class, react like a champion. One thing for sure at the beginning of this game, somebody in the Parkway Conference is going to be the WPIAL champion.
Yep, exactly.
And somebody in this next game from the North Conference is going to be a champion.
That's right.
There's Joe Hamilton and Mark Capuano exchanging handshakes with the rest of the Blackhawk coaching staff. Well, they know each other well. They're in the same conference. There's the final score. The Moon Tigers with surprising ease over the Blackhawk Cougars. We'll be back to Three Rivers as we get set for the Quad A championship game right after this.
We're back and we're live with Coach Mark Capuano. Mark, the first championship in the school history. They say patience is a virtue. Your thoughts, how you feel now?
I'll tell you what, there's so many people to thank to get down here. The school administration, our athletic director, our coaching staff, and this group of young men have just done such a great job. They made a commitment way back when we lost to Blackhawk the first time, and they were committed and determined to get there, get down to Three Rivers, and I'll tell you what, they just did a great job, and I can't be so happy. It's unbelievable.
Mark, I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but Blackhawk never got a first down until the last play of the 3rd quarter. Now, if we told you that earlier in the week, would you have believed it?
No way, no way. Blackhawk's too great of a football team. Joe Hamilton and his staff do a great job. I'll tell you what, no way I thought, but I'll tell you what, our kids have played well defensively all year, so they can get it done when they have to.
Mark, you told me about Mickey Keene, your tackle. He comes up and scores a touchdown. You also had told me earlier in the week that your tackles are 2 Division I prospects. They certainly had a great football game.
Yeah, our 2 tackles have done it all year. For Mickey to pick a football up and run it for a touchdown, and then Timmy Marr did the same thing on that fumble. I'll tell you what, we don't usually get those kind of breaks all year. We haven't been getting a lot of turnovers. So I told you during the week, turnovers, a big difference in a playoff game like this.
Cap, what about your defense? What did you do special for this football game?
Not one thing. Not one thing. We do things what we've been doing all year. We had to watch Wisner. We had to spy Wisner. Know where he was. He's a great running back. But really, our scheme has been the same since day one.
So now you play football at North Carolina, a kid from Neville Island. You waited a long time for this. I'm sure Carol and everybody in your family is excited. I never saw so many people on the Mood sidelines. Final thoughts for you on this WPIAL championship?
Now, we just really praise the Lord for being here. And I tell you what, it's been great. And the kids, this is so exciting. And we just hope we can keep it going and keep it going next week.
Mark, congratulations. Go have fun with your team. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the winning coach, Mark Capuana. The Moon Tigers win their first WPIAL championship. And we don't want you to go away. There's more high school football, the Quad A championship. That's coming up soon on Fox Sports Pittsburgh.